Well, hello and welcome to my study home office makeover. This room's quite an important one as we're often working from home and wanted a place that inspired us to keep working those long hours and hustling, as they say, as you have to do working in a family business. As you can see, the space was a little uninspiring before. I brought over a few furniture items I already had, and this mid-century style walnut desk and these vintage office chairs in ostrich texture set the tone for the rest of the room. Naturally, I started with the walls. We always wanted a world map in the house, not only to teach the kids about geography, but celebrate the areas we've been lucky enough to visit over the years, especially as a family. So up went the Graphico World Map wallpaper. This was a self-adhesive wallpaper, so quite easy DIY install, although Graphico can install for you around Australia if you're not a DIYer. It's highly detailed, showcasing many areas around the world. We can also customize it by adding in further details if required. For example, I added a few more towns around Italy where both our families originate from to give it some extra personalization. Then came the fun part. We applied these small gold 3D dots, which I picked up online to highlight where we've been. Large dots for family trips, small dots for pre-kid holidays. Those were the days. And as a bit of an added bonus, this map wallpaper doubles up as a fantastic Zoom or video call background. The room still needed some more warmth, so keeping up the mid-century vibe, I've used a new Graphico, a highly textured grass cloth wallpaper. Now, grass cloth is notoriously delicate and hard to work with. However, this new film is still very highly textured, just like grass cloth, however won't fray and is not made from actual grass cloth fibre, which means it's also able to be used in bathrooms and other areas. Now, this is a traditional wallpaper, so it's pasted on rather than self-adhesive. So I called in my expert traditional wallpaper installer and friend Phil at AWI to assist. You might also note that this wallpaper is butt joined, so no overlaps are present in the joins. Now, as much as I love grass cloth textured wallpaper, this blank wall was never going to stay blank. So keeping up with the world travel theme, I put a curated mix of my favourite travel photos into a gallery wall. I've made them all black and white for consistency and then framed them in these beautiful walnut coloured frames. If you've never done a gallery wall like this, it was a little time consuming to design, layout and install, but of course the Graphico team can handle this complete process from design to print to install and have a range of framing styles to choose from. So ask us how. I was also able to design the frames to leave some space for future frames. Plus, we might add a couch here in the future, so we wanted to ensure that the space has been left for future-proofing the wall. The cherry on top was adding this family heirloom, a mid-century starburst clock. My friend Retro Man in Adelaide restored it for me as it had stopped working many years ago. This used to sit at my grandparents' home, funnily enough, also over wallpaper, but it was done a little bit differently back then, as was my Ren and Stimpy vest, which I'm wearing, which I was very proud of at the time. Man, I was so cool. So back to the map, I purposely designed the map to finish 900mm before the floor, as I'm using this new product called Woodflex. It comes in a range of profiles and it's essentially a flexible real timber paneling with a felt backing, so it's supplied in complete panels and a lot easier to install than individual strips. I've chosen this half-round profile which mirrors a look that many modernist homes had back in the 50s and 60s. The install was pretty straightforward by simply gluing it onto the wall and cutting out the power points. You don't have to seal or varnish it, however, I wanted a little deeper colour, so I gave it a few coats in a matte finish varnish. The finishing touch to hide the raw edges was this brass trim that I picked up from a local aluminium supplier and simply glued it to the top. It just finishes the edge off perfectly and ties it back to a few other styling items in the room. I wanted to add some brass tones to the room but not go over the top. After a few styling touches, the room is complete. A luxurious, creative and inspiring work from home space that hasn't cost a great deal to transform considering the massive transformation. Well, what did you think? Would you be inspired working from this home office? I'd love to know your thoughts. Until then, I look forward to seeing you at my next room transformation coming soon.